Hello and welcome from Budapest. This is Hungary Reports from Public Media M1, bringing you the latest news from Hungary and the Carpathian Basin. I'm Árpád Szőci. Thanks for tuning in. Hungary's Foreign Affairs and Trade Minister says that some Western European countries want to destroy Central Europe's competitiveness by passing socialist economic policies. Híradó made his remarks at an economic forum in Krynica, Poland, where he talked about how certain Western countries want to harmonize taxation across the board. He said that should those proposals go into effect, they would destroy the competitiveness of not just Central Europe, but of the entire EU as a whole.
The Central European region has now become the growth motor of the European Union. Particular Western European countries want to decrease this advantage by pushing different socialist bureaucratic measures through the European Union. If this tax harmonization were to take effect, it would mean a tax increase in Hungary. So obviously we will fight tax harmonization in Europe to our last breath.
In October, the government will discuss its strategy to improve national rail service starting in 2020. One of the most important rail lines will be the new Budapest-Belgrade one, still to be constructed. The Hungarian government will pitch in more than 1 billion euros, 760 million euros. Hungary's Minister of Innovation and Technology held talks about this after signing a deal with the Rail Cargo Group.
At the logistics center of the Rail Cargo Group in Budapest, loading continues 24 hours a day. Approximately 300 trains arrive and depart from here every month. Each train carries about 40 containers full of conventional goods. For example, this train arrived here from the port of Rijeka in Croatia. As soon as the containers are removed from the carriages, lorries take them even further to other parts of Europe. Although more and more companies decide on transporting by rail, it is still way behind road transportation, despite the fact that rail transport is faster and more environmentally friendly. The Ministry of Innovation and Technology has now signed an agreement with the Austrian company so as to increase the role of railways in passenger and cargo transport. In addition to discussing how to increase the transportation of goods in an environmentally friendly way, we held negotiations about the development of passenger transport also. For example, we discussed how travel time between Budapest and Vienna could be decreased. The CEO of the Austrian Federal Railways explained. The Ministry for Innovation and Technology expects that the agreement will facilitate the participation of rail cargo in rail transport on the Budapest-Belgrade line in the future. In addition, the company will further broaden its services in the Tihany redistributing area. The Minister of Innovation and Technology, László Parkovics, announced that the government plans to discuss next year's rail development strategy in October. The electrification project is currently running with a value of 4.5 billion euros. We're spending a great deal on this at the moment, but soon the refurbishment of the Budapest-Belgrade railway line will also begin, the minister said. 1.7 billion euros will be spent on the project. The main aim of further railway developments is to increase the current load of 52 million tons of goods transported to 60 million tons. With this, 500,000 lorries and freight trucks can be taken off the road yearly.
And Hungarian trains that just left for Romania, Ukraine, Serbia and Slovakia also used the Hungarian names of the destination cities they were going to reach. Hungary's biggest train station, Keleti, now displays the Hungarian names for many cities in the surrounding countries. And Budapest's other two train stations will also be using this bilingual service starting on Friday. And by next June, every train station in Hungary will offer this service.
Brașov, or Brasov in parentheses, can be seen on the direction indicating signs on a Harghita intercity train. Come Wednesday, the names of destinations and intermediate border stations will be written in Hungarian as well on the trains. From this week on, destination names in Hungarian will also be displayed on the passenger information displays of 3 major Budapest train stations. And in the coming months, they will also be introduced at hundreds of stations. There are 36 stations which are affected across the border. In our case, this means a change in 200 different stations, meaning repainting or reprogramming certain digital passenger information displays. Communications Director Daniel Lopert explained. The aim of the Hungarian National Railway Service is to strengthen the sense of belonging of Hungarian minority populations across the border and to take pride in the railway company of their motherland. The complete transition is planned to be completed by early June of 2020.
And Hungary's NATO contingent that was sent to protect Baltic airspace has returned home. The unit had served 4 months in the region. Their pilots were also sent to intercept 50 times against potentially threatening aircraft. This was Hungary's second Baltic mission. The next one will probably be in 3 years.
Water cannons shot by the airport's fire brigade greeted members of the Hungarian Defence Forces Baltic Armed Readiness subunit returning from a 4-month NATO mission. The 4 Gripen jets returned home on Tuesday, with the Airbus 319 bringing the 3 pilots left and the 85-plus support staff. Since May, the contingent has been performing air policing tasks in the Baltic region. They had a total of 50 Alpha alarms, that is, a sharp deployment. Hungarian pilots spent almost 500 hours in the air. We carried out 110 different exercises, including scrambles, and we took off 141 times where we had to complete tasks that were carried out in support of the local air force, the commander said. Hungarian Gripens were alerted to different aircrafts in the Baltic Sea area or in international airspace near the Baltic states that had no flight plan, did not establish radio communications with air traffic control, or did not operate a beacon. The intercepted aircrafts included transport and reconnaissance aircrafts, as well as bombers and even fighter bombers. All of them were Russian or unmarked planes. They continue to count on us, which is proof that the Hungarian Air Force performed their task well. They continue to count on us in the near future, and if it's needed, we can and are ready to carry out this task again, Zoltán Mihóca said. The Hungarian Defence Forces completed their first NATO air mission back in 2005. The Kecskemét fighter pilots then had 25 operational missions in the Baltic region. Following this current successful new mission, the invitation to continue has already been received.
Hungary has nominated the film Those Who Remained for the upcoming Academy Awards in the category Best International Feature Film. Previously, the category was known as Best Foreign Language Film. Directed by Barnabás Tóth, Those Who Remained is a post-Holocaust story of survival and finding love and plays out in Budapest. It was also supported by public media's Duna media service. Its director told M1 that his group was finally given a role to support a movie that could be Oscar-bound. The Hungarian short film Everyone has also been nominated.
I was also part of the committee which recommended funding this movie to the Film Council. A very deep human story about a middle-aged doctor who lost his wife and child and a teenage girl who is waiting for her parents to come back from the death camp. But to no avail. It's a beautiful story about these people finding each other.
The works of 2 contemporary artists can be viewed at the Tejfalusi House in Veszprém. The creations are by jewelry artist and designer György Szocska and glass painter Boglárka Bodnár, focusing on the Hungarian Holy Crown and coronation symbols. The items on display were done using traditional methods and seem almost 3-dimensional. And over in Tihany, on the north shore of Lake Balaton, the famous Tihany Skanzen, or open-air museum, reveals the settlement's former folkloric peasant life. All the buildings are erected exactly where the earlier versions stood and reflect the lifestyles of the time. However, one building is original, the Halászcé, or Fishers Guild, the only remaining such structure in the entire Balaton region. And that's all for now. But we'll be back the next night, too, live right after the news in Hungarian at 11 p.m. local time. You can also catch us in repeats and online. Please stay tuned now, if you can, for our new shows in German, Russian, and Chinese. Thanks very much for watching, and minden jót!